Hey guys, this is Javier with the Real Javier Novoa YouTube channel, and we also have a Facebook group. If you like my material, please subscribe and like, and so that more people can get these messages. Tonight, I just wanted to go into an sort of unscripted, ad hoc conversation, and the question I wanted to ask, and I've also gotten, I think, two of these questions from subscribers, is why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we doing this program? Why are we going into so much spiritual and philosophical material when it's a channel uh, mostly geared towards business? And it is a channel that's geared towards business, and it's also geared towards other aspects of life, relationships, organization, and so on and so forth. But why are we going into these spiritual principles? And why are we going into philosophical principles? Especially in the introductory videos of this channel, I said that this is not a space for simple philosophical banter. And so, why are we doing especially deep dives? And tomorrow I am going to be coming out with a few videos. I think at least one of them is going to be a deep dive in the concepts of categories of being and also in the concepts of paradox and duality, which is very important to understand what we teach in this channel and why I couch things in the terminology that I do and why we recommend the practices and the ways of thinking that we do. So, but at any rate, why are we doing all this? Because there's a lot of spiritual teachers out there, and I'm still contemplating and trying to figure out for myself, because I'm a fellow student and I am basically carving this path out also as I go. And I'm trying to think to myself, am I a spiritual teacher? And from a certain aspect I am, because improving your life is one of the most spiritual things that you can do for at the ultimate level of reality that we'll go into when we discuss the levels of reality. Physicality and spirituality are not two separate things in the ultimate, because there's no physical and there's no spiritual. This is a dichotomy that happens as a result of the separation that comes out when an observed item is conceived by the observer, and then there's a separation between the observer and the observed. Physics and philosophy talks about this, and we'll go into this more in our lesson about that. But what's the end goal of all of this? What's the purpose? Well, it certainly isn't woo-woo or some kind of hippie stuff or some kind of escapism. It's certainly not that, because I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm one of the most practical people that you can talk to. And so are the people who subscribe to this channel. They want results. But what are we aiming for? And then why do we approach it in the way that we do? Well, we're certainly not aiming for some kind of enlightenment, because I'm not even sure that enlightenment is a thing. I'm not even sure that what the difference is between an enlightened person and a quote-unquote unenlightened person. Because in spiritual circles, we have all of these people who say that they're enlightened, all of these gurus, and so on and so forth, but they still live normal human lives, they still depend on food and drink, and they still do move toward improvement. We all move toward improvement, whether we do it consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. And probably the majority of people live a life that's unconscious. So, we're not trying to seek that. And I'm definitely not seeking something that I'm not striving to earn something that's going to happen to me in some future life. I'm not going to put my current life on hold to attain something in some future that we don't even have certainty about or know about. We're certainly taught about it, and I'm not denying any of that, and I'm not saying that that's not valid on many levels of being. But my primary focus right now, and these are three aspects that I think we're all subconsciously seeking. I'm consciously and selfishly seeking it. And we'll go into selfishness also a little bit more. But I'm seeking to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, as the old adage goes. But in a conscious way. How can I explain this? So, most spiritual and philosophical systems are geared towards being a virtuous member of that philosophy or that group. And you're judged according to how much you conform to the rules and regulations and so on of the group. This is true in any group. This is true in a business. This is true in my business or in your business. So it's not something that's good or bad. It's just a fact. Vadim Zeland goes into this in reality transurfing, where he talks about pendulums. And what a pendulum is, some sort of aggregation of energy. It's an aggregation of momentum. It's a sort of vortex, if you will, of momentum that sort of has its own self-generated, what should I say? It has its own self-generated self-preservation and growth. And it's not even necessarily for a reason outside of itself, even though it does depend on forces outside of itself. But the growth is just simply, of a pendulum, is growth simply for the sake of growth, and it's unconscious. And so all of these philosophical systems and spiritual systems, even books, even teachings, are a pendulum. And so my aim is not to follow a specific teaching in order to become a virtuous follower of that teaching. My aim is to seek wisdom and principles wherever I find them that can apply directly to my everyday life. And whether people admit it or not, they are seeking a better life. They're seeking to improve themselves. They're seeking to improve their conditions. And they are seeking to be successful, whatever success or happiness means to them. So, all of these spiritual principles and philosophical principles are geared towards putting them into practice to live a better life. We're selfishly trying to do this, and there's nothing wrong with selfishness. As I like the way Ayn Rand wrote about the virtue of selfishness, because if people are truly selfish, and I'm not talking about unenlightened hedonism here, I'm talking about an enlightened sense of selfishness, an educated and vibrationally consistent sense of selfishness. When everybody does that, the whole system is served. When you try to help members of a system, and you consciously try to do that, you're not actually helping. Marcus Aurelius talks about this in Meditations, where, I forget the exact wording, but he said that when you do something virtuous and then you say that you have done something virtuous, it's not virtuous, because the bee does his work and he's not self-conscious about it. The only virtue, true virtue, whereby you contribute to the community as a whole, is something that you're not aware of, that you're not conscious of. But of course you can be conscious of it, but this is a very fine and delicate distinction here that they're trying to make. But the basic point is, by being selfish, you are serving the whole. And this is shown in economics. When you look in the theories of Austrian economics and rational systems of economics, when people are seeking to serve their self-interest, they automatically serve the whole, at least economically. And we can talk about externalities of the system and so on and so forth, but just for the sake of these examples. So I am in this for self-interest. I'm doing these teachings for self-interest. And I know that I'm helping others, and the ones who wish to be helped by these teachings will come to our channel and will come to me. But I don't have to consciously attempt to do that. Me, simply by doing my work and by trying to better myself, I'm helping others. And so when these spiritual teachings talk about ego, even though the very deep spiritual teachers say that ego is a part and parcel of our personality that is not eliminated, is not to be dissolved or eliminated, it will not even be eliminated in enlightenment, whatever it is that they call enlightenment. And perhaps one day we will know, perhaps we will not know. But this channel is about improving your life. And the reason we learn these philosophical principles are to have mental tools, mental models, and frameworks that we can apply in any given situation so that we can continuously move forward on our path to self-improvement. I want to enjoy life and I want to enjoy the heck out of it. And I want to have as many experiences, as many relationships, and enjoy, basically suck the marrow out of life, so to speak. I am studying all of this and I'm teaching all these teachings. And I'm going into business so that I can have it all. And these teachings, this system teaches that you can have it all. When you wish it and you desire it, you conceive it within yourself and it's done. All you have to do is line up with it. And all of the work that we do, all of the teaching that we do, all of the study that we do is an end in itself. You see, in this system, when you contemplate the ideas of the philosophy and you put the principles into practice, you'll start doing things every day as an end in themselves. So you don't care what the result is of your actions, although you do, and you have to measure the results. This is another paradox. There will be a lot of principles that on the outside, from a superficial point of view, seem contradictory, but when we study the principle of paradox, we'll understand that there are no contradictions, and that you have to hold these two seemingly different ideas that are the same, just on different levels of being. You have to hold them in your consciousness so that you can pull out the right tool from the toolkit when you need it. And again, it's all for the purpose of enjoying the present action and living in the present moment, as Eckhart Tolle says. But we're not trying to achieve some sort of point or some sort of star like we got in preschool. We're not trying to earn it because, as we'll learn, there's nothing to earn. You are already complete. You're already complete. All you're doing now is unfolding into that eternal growth that you came here for and that you will continue pursuing, that you've always pursued. And what I want to do is I want to unlock that curiosity again. I want to unlock that passion for life that we all used to have as children, that some of us had got taken out of at older ages. But I want to release that. And I know there's the biblical adage that one cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless he becomes as a child. And there are many of these in spirituality. We have to become childlike, not childish, but childlike. We have to have that childlike passion in pursuit of life. And then everything becomes an end in itself, and everything becomes pure joy and pure love. And when we seek our own self-interest, our true self-interest, selfishly, we actually become the most altruistic beings in the universe, because once you know that you have it all you want to do is give, and you find happiness in giving. And that's the paradox. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to attain joy, passion, growth, and love. So please, if you like my videos, continue to like and please subscribe to my channel. We have many exciting videos and deep dives coming out in the next few days. For now, you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. This is Javier Novoa, and I'll be back soon.